Hello folks and welcome to Screencast. Danny here. In today's video I'm going to be reviewing the Nokia Lumia 800. Now the folks at Free UK were kind enough to send this out, so thanks a lot to them, and let's get straight into the review. So on opening the box you get the Lumia 800 mobile phone, also a micro USB sync cable, a mains charger which is quite compact, a set of headphones with mic, kind of your standard quality what you expect from a mobile phone. Also a silicone case to help protect your Nokia Lumia 800, and also a set of instructions. So let's take a closer look around the Nokia Lumia 800. So on the right side of the phone we get the two volume controls at the top, below that the power button, and below that the actual camera button. On the left side it's just completely clear. On top of the device we have the 3.5mm jack for headphones. Next to that we have the flap where the micro USB resides, and next to that we actually have the tray for the micro SIM. On the bottom we can see we just have the speaker. The front of the device you get the curved 3.7 inch AMOLED clear black glass screen, which is really nice. At the bottom of that you get the three capacitive buttons, the back button, the Windows button and the search button. At the back of the phone you can see the 8MP autofocus camera with Carl Zeiss optics and dual LED flash. The Lumia 800 has a 3.7 inch screen, this being 480 by 800 pixels, giving it a pixel density of 252 pixels per inch. Now this is a really high resolution screen. In no way is the market leader in this, but it's definitely a really nice screen. Now quickly comparing it to the iPhone, something we're very familiar with, you can see it's very similar size to the iPhone. It's only ever so slightly taller, but remembering it's got a 0.2 inch bigger screen than the actual iPhone. Now if we quickly compare the devices side by side, once again the Lumia 800 is a little bit bigger by a few mil, but again it's not very noticeable at all. So if you're someone who likes the size of the iPhone, then the Lumia 800 definitely fits that bill. You kind of expect high quality hardware from Nokia, and there's no exception here with the Lumia 800. It's a really well built phone and feels really solid in the hand. There's no creaky plastic here, it's just really high quality materials. It's made mainly from one piece of polycarbonated plastic, and also got the glass screen which kind of adds to that overall quality. Because of the phone's curved sides and back, it feels really nice in the palm of the hand. Also what I like about the Lumia 800 is its size. It's really easy to use with one hand. So generally there's a lot of devices come to the market with much larger screens and they can be quite uncomfortable at times to just use one-handed, whereas with the Lumia 800 it fits perfect in the hand and it's easy to operate with just your thumb. Now onto the software. Now the phone actually runs Windows Phone 7, and with the 1.5 GHz processor found in the Nokia Lumia 800, it runs really well. In fact, I'm really surprised how smooth it actually runs. The OS and the hardware work really well together. And as you can see here, just switching between the different menus and navigating around the OS, it's so quick and snappy. There's no lag at all, and I've been super impressed with Windows Phone 7 in this regard. So when we swipe the phone up to unlock it, you'll actually be greeted with the main menu or the live tiles. This is kind of where all your most important applications are. You can basically choose which ones appear in the main menu. Now when I swipe to the left, I'll get to see all the applications within the phone. I can swipe back to get to the actual main menu, the live tiles. So as you can see, it's a really easy operating system to understand, and most people I've shown it to have been really impressed with how easy it is to use. Now, it is very easy to use and just about anyone can pick it up and understand it pretty quick. But it's not just easy to use, it's also really quick to do things. So, for example, sending a text or sending an email or making a quick call or doing a quick web search seems really quick on Windows Phone 7. One, because it's so responsive, but also because it's really simple and easy to navigate. So I'll just quickly talk about the buttons at the bottom, the capacitive buttons. If you hit the actual middle button, which is the Windows button, it'll bring you back to the home menu. If you hit the actual back button, that'll take you back one screen. If you hold it down, that'll bring up kind of the most recently used apps, so it's a bit like multitasking or quick app switching, so really useful. If you hit the search button, that'll bring you to Bing Search, which is kind of Microsoft's answer to Google Search. And to be honest, at first I wasn't sure if it'd be any good, but to be honest, I've been using it for a few weeks and it does the job fine. If you've got anything you want to search for on the web, it does the job more than adequate. When I first saw the keyboard within Windows Phone 7, I wasn't quite sure about it. I thought it looked a little bit small, the actual keys. But after typing on it, I found it were really responsive and it were a really good typing experience. So very impressed with the keyboard within Windows Phone 7. As you can see, I'm sending a text here, but also within the text application, you can actually send messages to Facebook. And that's something you get with Windows Phone 7. There's a lot of social network features built into the OS, which is really cool. I really like the email application within Windows Phone 7. I find it to be very easy to use, really simple and really quick. As you can see, I'm swiping sideways to get to the different mailboxes, and this is something you do quite a lot within Windows Phone 7 to access different menus, is do a lot of swiping to the side, which I think works really well on a touchscreen device, and it makes Windows Phone 7 quite unique in that sense. So one thing I did really like was actual web browsing experience on this device. Windows Phone 7's Internet Explorer is really good. As you can see, it's quite a simple looking application, so there's not too much actually in the way of the web page. You just focus on the web page and the actual content. In terms of scrolling up and down the actual page and zooming in and out, it's really responsive, really quick. And this is probably one of the best web browsing experience I've had on a mobile device. So if web browsing is something you do a lot on your mobile device, then definitely Windows Phone 7 is going to give you a good overall experience when it comes to actually surfing the web. Now onto the camera. It's an 8 megapixel sensor with Kelzine optics. It's got obviously autofocus and dual LED flash. Now generally I've been pretty impressed with the performance of the camera. One thing it's very strong at is macro shooting. We're really impressed with its capabilities there. Comparing it to something like the iPhone 4S or even HTC One X, I'd say it's not quite up to them levels in terms of camera performance, though it is very close. But generally for a smartphone, even high-end smartphone, it is very good and works very well. I think most people would be very impressed with the camera performance. Now in terms of video quality, it can shoot in HD video, and once again it performs very well at shooting HD video. Now one thing I am disappointed about the phone, it doesn't have a front-facing camera. So if you're someone who wants to do video chatting with this phone, it's going to be a little bit difficult with not having a front-facing camera. Though Nokia are bringing out the Nokia Lumia 900 soon, which will have a front-facing camera, so that's something to definitely bear in mind. Now moving on to applications, I was really impressed actually with the applications on Windows Phone 7, from the likes of the calendar application, the music application, etc. Really fast and really responsive, just like the Windows Phone 7 operating system. Now if you want to download more applications, you can from the marketplace, and I was again impressed with the amount of applications there were for Windows Phone 7. Now to be fair, there isn't as many applications out there as there is for the likes of the iPhone and Android devices, but still there were quite a number of applications out there and good quality applications for Windows Phone 7. And one thing I did like about the marketplace is you was able to download trial versions of the actual paid applications, which I thought were really cool, and that's something you can't do with the iPhone. In terms of making calls and receiving calls on this phone, I've been very happy with that. No major problems there, and been as good as any other smartphone I've actually used in terms of making phone calls. Now in terms of battery life, I get around about a day out of the actual phone, and I was a little bit disappointed because I was expecting maybe Windows Phone 7 and Nokia to perhaps exceed other smartphones in terms of battery life, and it didn't quite manage that. It was probably just about average. It compared similar to an Android phone, for example, or even an iPhone. I do wish it did have a front-facing camera, even though this is something I wouldn't use a lot. You kind of expect it from high-end smartphones nowadays, so that was a little bit of a disappointment. Also, the speaker could have been a bit louder. When I was watching YouTube videos, I would think to myself, this could be a little bit louder. It's not quite loud enough. That probably wasn't a deal breaker, but it's definitely something I did notice. So that was my review of the Nokia Lumia 800. I'll be kind of sad to see this phone going back to free UK. Over the last 2 weeks I've been really enjoying using the Nokia Lumia 800. Great hardware, great operating system from Microsoft, and I've been really impressed. Will I be switching over to the Nokia Lumia 800? Probably not. I'll be sticking with the iPhone, but it's definitely got me thinking about the Windows Phone operating system. It's something I definitely would consider in the future possibly. If someone came to me and said, I want to get a smartphone but I think the iPhone's a little bit too expensive, what would you recommend? Then I probably wouldn't recommend a Windows Phone 7 device. Now there's a lot of people out there who use Android and like that, but personally I prefer Windows Phone 7 over Android for the fact that I find it just a much more refined OS. It's a lot more snappy, a lot more quicker, and it's a lot more polished in my opinion. And the biggest strength in my opinion of Windows Phone 7 is its just ease of use. It's a really easy phone to use. So definitely something I would recommend to a lot of people. So yeah, thanks for watching this video everyone. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Be sure to subscribe if you haven't already. Also give me a thumbs up on this video, and also drop me a comment below giving me your opinion on Windows Phone 7. So thanks for watching everyone, and I'll see you later. Goodbye.